Hey everyone, welcome back to Crypto Cash. Thank you so much again for joining me here. Hope you're having a great day. This is our crypto market overview where we look at Bitcoin and just a general consensus of the derivatives market, Fear and Greed Index, Altcoin Season Index, and more specifically, liquidation data on the back end where we need to recognize, there's some heavy concentrations of liquidation at specific areas that may incentivize the price to continue lower. So it is important that you stick all the way through this video. I'll make it very quick and concise. We can start with back end liquidation data first and then move on to the altcoin index there and just kind of help understand where things are at in the overall sense. So first things first, we always start with open interest, just to kind of recognize these are exit liquidity ranges for those who are underwater. So right now we see a lot of resistance at 118.7, 118 even, and 117 even. These are three areas that are hedged the most, where people have the most amount of positions. Could be longs, could be shorts, but the general consensus here is that those are construed as resistances because we're below them. All right. We can also see here as well, liquidation short delta is upwards of 15 billion. That means we need 15 more billion in longs to enter the market or for shorts to take profit. And I don't know if they're going to want to take some profit here. A lot of folks are looking for that extra blubber there. And what I mean by that here is this extra liquidity range of 113 to 115. Decent chance we continue a bit lower there. Now this is on the left-hand side, just a newer thing I want to kind of bring to your attention. This is net longs versus net shorts on the right. So on the left-hand side, we can see all these longs at 118.7 having a pretty stressful ride right now. That's why you don't take late longs. That's why you short the top of a range and you long the bottom of a range, because we can see those folks are underwater. So 118.7 is a heavy concentration of longs that are not feeling so good right now, whereas shorts over here are feeling pretty. They're at 118.7 and 117.4. All right. Speaking of shorts, congrats to our community members for being patient and securing 36% on our almost 14-day trade. There's a 2-week trade, right? We took that trade when Bitcoin reached its 118 to 120 range. So that's a short from 120 to 115.5. Crow also, we took a long there, 20%, 22% in 20 hours. That coin, by the way, future reference, looking pretty solid. Okay, so let's look at the back-end data here, kind of see where we're at here, or I guess this is more front-end data, but the truth is altcoin season index is something we want to kind of touch on. Even though I do separate videos for altcoins, specifically, we can see we're maintaining a good range here, which means, for lack of better terms, with the altcoin season index number remaining close to where it was at last week, even though Bitcoin's pulling back, altcoin's doing very well. So I don't think you should try to dump or short a bunch of altcoins. I think the concept here is that alts are going to surge here soon once Bitcoin finds its bottom. And I think Bitcoin's going to find its bottom in the relative near future here, because I feel like this is like a power of 3 manipulative wave setup. Let's talk about that here in a minute. That actually ties into this net ETF inflow or outflow, depending on how you look at it. First of all, ETH is still strong. We've seen no money flowing away from ETH. We saw on Sunday, however, that there was a negative outflow for Bitcoin. And the last time we had that was back in June on the 30th. Now, to touch on that here, so you understand the correlation and that power of 3 that we're referring to, is that we had this accumulation phase over here, right? Where we had the price action accumulating. This is June 30th, by the way, right here. The price pulls back here, traps a lot of shorts. Price rips up and then inevitably doesn't look back because it continues much higher from there. So it's not an exact science, right? We're not just going to see the price shoot up from here because of it. But I do think that we are in a manipulative scenario here where the price action is probably more likely to increase in the relative near future for that destruction path there. Basically trapping late shorts. So this weekend should be a weekend where we're going to see some shorts getting trapped. That's my guess. But between now and then, it's safe to presume the price is going to continue a bit lower, partially because we have this the ascending trend line that has been broken. We're below all moving averages, and we want to see how this previous support level at 116 holds here moving forward. Is that going to be a new resistance? It's really common for the price action to do something like this. And then obviously we see a rip back up there once late shorts are trapped. So there's a good chance we're going to be seeing a manipulative pattern here, and that's kind of what we're going to be paying attention to. All right. So between now and then, let's go ahead and look at a couple of other things before we round out here our analysis. Daily time frame, just to kind of quickly touch on this. I want to recognize here that we're still tentatively above the 20-day SMA. Now, that doesn't mean much at all, honestly. It's just kind of a trend setter, right? Lets us know we're above the trend. For right now, though, it's not looking great. It's a decent chance we continue a bit lower, partially because we've seen these early signs here. Now, I talked about this all week. You'll know that if you saw my previous analysis here, where, altcoins, are they going to surge? No, don't be fooled. This is not a good consideration to take longs, not just yet anyways. And the reason why is because Bitcoin had significant divergence. We are below our RSI SMA. Our RSI is dropping and our money flow index is below the RSI. Those are all bad signs. And that in combination with the MACD divergence, it makes perfect sense we're going to continue to pull back, or this is just kind of a very tentative pullback. Nonetheless, it's still important to recognize that we're going to continue a bit lower before it bottoms out. All that said, we're not overextended here in the 4-hour time frame. Our RSI is tapering off. We are also seeing our moving average above the price. And even though stochastic's trying to swing up, that means very little. Folks put too much emphasis on that. It's just that natural capitulation off the CME gap. So good news is the CME gap has been filled. All right, so I'll post a playout chart reflecting that as well. But I think at this point, it's probably best to presume the price is going to continue to maintain the current range. I believe if we close below 116,000 a day, that the 113 to 116, that range there, is probably the new range for us, okay? So there's a good chance that we're going to be seeing some range-bound activity in this area until the next leg up. So as I mentioned previously, I've been very interested in taking a long in the 113 to 116K range. It's just difficult to jump right into it because this is like a significant shift in momentum, right? When you break specific trend lines and or support levels, that 116K range, you got to give it time to let it breathe. You can't just jump right in and FOMO into a long now that we're at 116. Even though we've been wanting this price point for a while, there was a definitive break of that support. And since that is the case, we kind of got to recalibrate and make sure we're not getting too crazy and hasty with our trades. So that's kind of where we're at there. Once more, I'll post a new playout chart on our Twitter, Telegram, and Discord. I hope you did learn something today, and comment below if you could, please. Really helps grow the channel, and I deeply appreciate any and all the support you've been providing. I've actually got a lot of awesome feedback here recently, so I deeply appreciate that. Thanks again so much. Glad that people are discovering the channel a bit more, and we're working out pretty well here. So congrats once more to our traders. If you do want to become a better trader though, folks, obviously cryptocash.tech is a site link down below, but check out BitUnix too. No KYC or VPN required. They have an awesome reward bonus going on right now, and there's new rewards every single month. So first next month, we got a new deposit and or registration rewards. We'll have that posted here soon. But either way, thanks again for being an awesome part of my life. We'll look forward to seeing the next one. Take care.